I grew up in a hotel family, 4 generations of working hotels. So I guess the whole idea of being involved as a child in terms of hospitality and being around people and food is something that's been in my blood. My mum was a home economist, so cooking at home was almost a daily ritual of being involved in that. And I worked in the events industry, so when a job came up to work at Melbourne Food and Wine Festival, it felt like a wonderful match of what was in my blood and the experience that I'd already had to date. This year we did celebrate the 20th anniversary of Melbourne Food and Wine Festival, and we tried to, in the 20th year, celebrate the best of what was originally part of the festival. So that included our Legends celebration, our longest lunches, our masterclass series, but we also tried to explore new territories, and part of that was about sustainability around food, it was around food security, it was emerging more into the wonderful suburbs of Melbourne and the incredible food scene in Melbourne suburbs that's accessible to people. And so the 20th was a combination of the best of what we've been producing for many years, but also merging into new areas of food and cuisine. Melbourne Food and Wine Festival, we really say, is a celebration of the best of Victoria, but also in addition, it's about the celebration of what's happening around the world and global trends. And during the time of the festival, we have seen many incredible chefs and winemakers travel from around the world. And we talk about the top 50 restaurants in the world, and we've seen 22 of those top chefs come to Melbourne to celebrate with us. And normally those chefs are paired up with a Melbourne chef, and they work together with that Melbourne chef in their kitchen and come together and collaborate on a menu, which is a really special component of the festival. The realm of celebrity chefs has been a positive thing in a sense, because I think it's bringing food and wine to a much bigger audience and also a much younger audience in some instances. You know, we have children as young as 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 sending in suggestions of what they'd like to see for the festival, and so I think that that's the positive aspect of celebrity chef. There's obviously also a downside in that the industry that we work with is an industry of huge integrity, huge passion and hard work, and there can be an element of often celebrity actually overlooks the fact that the industry is a lot harder and has far more integrity than that. But on the whole, I think it does make food and wine more accessible to a bigger amount of people, and that can only be positive. I think one of the really exciting things that's happened in Victoria is the celebration of seasonal and regional Victoria. And I think there's a far greater emphasis on the produce that's available, and Victoria being an incredible food bowl and food state, that's a really exciting thing. So as well as celebrating and embracing that as part of the program, it's very much about heading to the regions, whether that's north, south, east, west, and actually experiencing for yourself on location with the winemaker, with the producer, with the farmer. And about 30% of our program now is actually based in regional Victoria. I think the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival really needs to be lots of things to lots of people. So we need to, at one end, have free programming that enables people to experience. We also need to talk about the cerebral and the really important issues in terms of food, whether that's sustainability, seasonality, food security. They're really important issues in terms of the industry. We also have events that are quite high-end and much more fine dining and in some ways much possibly more expensive. And so it is important to be, when you're a food and wine, is to offer things to different parts of the audience. More recently, we've started developing program for young children, given the growing interest of young children. And we worked with Stephanie Alexander and the Kitchen Garden Foundation, not only children understanding about cooking, but about growing food and harvesting food, preparing the food, cooking the food, and then enjoying and eating the food around the table as well. So I think in a lot of ways that the programming does need to reflect the different audiences that are interested in food and wine.